Good afternoon and welcome to Ed Saugestad Rink here on the campus of Augsburg University. It's Augie hockey on Augie game day. My name is Josh Powers, joined this afternoon by engineer Tom Ritchie. Well, the Augies got a huge win last night over St. Norbert, who is the opponent again this afternoon. It was Augsburg's first win over the Green Knights since 2005, and it breaks that dubious streak of 8 consecutive recently, including the last 3 NCAA tournament losses for the Auggies each of the last 3 years. The Auggies defeating St. Norbert 6-5 in overtime. It was a game where Augsburg led 5-2 late in the second period. The number 3 in the country, Green Knights, stormed back with a goal late in the period and then 2 more in the third to even it up. But for the number 9 Augies, the leading goal scorer in the country with the game winner last night, Alex Rodriguez, with his 12th of the season, and the Augies won a wild one, 6-5. And what that means for the Augies is they're at now 9-1-1, 5-0-1 in conference. Right now leading the conference, depending on what happens this afternoon with Concordia, but they are in very good shape, not only in the MIAC, as we documented last weekend in that St. Thomas game on Saturday, but now with this win over St. Norbert yesterday, nationally, that will really help you come NCAA selection time if the Augies continue to have a good record and then don't win their 4th consecutive tournament championship. Certainly a game like yesterday would go a long way. A lot of hockey to be played, but certainly being a number 3 team in the country in St. Norbert now with their record of 8-3-1, that can do wonders for you. Augie hockey brought to you all season long by Twin Cities Orthopedics, Wells Fargo, Minnesota Coaches, Devani's Pizza and Hot Hoagies, The Courtyard Minneapolis Downtown, 360 Wow Inc., The Corner Bar, Jimmy John's, and Memory Lanes and Flashback Cafe. St. Norbert along the banks of the Fox River just south of Green Bay in the suburb of De Pere, Wisconsin. Coming to Ed Saugestad to face the Augies, located on the banks of the Mississippi River here in downtown Minneapolis. Should be another good one for you this afternoon. While the teams are making their way out, got a chance earlier to catch up with the head coach for Augsburg, Chris Brown. Augie pregame show this afternoon. The Augies and St. Norbert doing battle, joined by head coach Chris Brown. Coach, big win for you guys last night. Assess the performance from last night's big upset.
Well, I thought it was a wild game, for one. I mean, it could have went either way. Fortunately for us, we hung in there. Difference was the second period. You know, we played really well and got out to a big lead. You knew they weren't going to go away, and they kept chipping away, but I give our guys credit. After they tied it and had all the momentum in the third and most critical period, we hung in there and got a big goal in overtime, which was huge for our guys just to get that win, because they've kind of been in our head here the last few years, and they're a hell of a team. So it was a wild game, and I'm sure today will be an interesting game as well.
You know, we've had back-to-back wild games. You go back to that St. Thomas game.
Yeah.
I've never seen a game like that. I've been covering hockey for 18 years with all the controversies and calls. And what was a game like that? It almost lasted 3 hours. What was that game like from your perspective?
Yeah, it was just kind of an old-school game. You know, I thought both teams played really hard. I thought we actually played much better Saturday than we did Friday. And it was unfortunate we didn't get the result, you know, to get the win, but like you said, again, you had a young reffing crew on a heated series that was, like you said, it was there were a lot of calls that were made, and
both ways.
And I think both teams, the kids got kind of frustrated, which, you know, turned it into a little bit of an old school just kind of battle, and it was a great hockey game, great atmosphere, and it ended in a tie, and unfortunately they got the extra point. But on the weekend we were successful. We took 4 out of 6 points, and we move forward to this week.
Yeah, and I know you have one more game after this one next Saturday, but kind of assess the first half performance. I mean, from afar, you guys have 9 wins, you're first place in the league, and you just beat a quality opponent last night. But how do you see it from your perspective internally?
I think that it starts with our practice mentality. I think the guys have been really coming to practice every day, ready to work, ready to get better. And we've been, really focusing on our team identity as well. And I think, you're always going to have ups and downs with that. But I think it's helped us stay the course, just being a team first, together, and tough. That's kind of our motto. And not like, physical toughness, but just the being tough to play against, being tough mentally, tough physically, all those things, and trying to play with as much discipline as possible. We've least penalized team in the league through the first 6 games. I think if Concordia wins today, we'll be tied for first, and I think they're having a very good year. But, for us, I think the first half's been, everything you could want, and to beat St. Norbert last night was I think something we can build on. There's definitely been some building blocks for us, and I'm pleased with it so far.
Last one, Coach. We know what Nick can do back in the net, and Daniil played great when Nick was out. We know what you have from the forward spot, but your D-core is relatively young, yet I think they've come along pretty nicely this year.
Yeah, great point. I mean, last night we rolled 5D against a high-end opponent, and of those D, you had 3 first years. You had a sophomore in Matt Nels, and you had Jason Critch, who is a sophomore and a half, and so that's a young group, and to their credit, they hung in there. We gave up 5 goals, which you're probably not going to win many games if you give up 5, but by and large, they've been pretty consistent, and they're getting better, which is the most important thing.
All right, Coach, good luck today.
Thank you.
All right, that's head coach Chris Brown. More to come here on the pregame show, the Augies and St. Norbert. All right, and thanks to Chris Brown for stopping by just a few minutes ago.
Your Augsburg University Augies!
As you just hear, the Augies have hit the ice, so we will send it down for
St. Norbert College Green Knights.
We'll send it down for the starting lineups and the national anthem here before this big non-conference Saturday afternoon showdown here with the Augies and the St. Norbert Green Knights.
Welcome to the Ed Saugestad rink today for today's non-conference men's hockey game between the Knights from St. Norbert College and your Augsburg University Augies. Here are today's starting lineups, starting with the visitors from St. Norbert. Starting in goal, a sophomore from Calgary, Alberta, number 35, Ryan Bontorin. Starting on defense, a senior from Helena, Montana, number 16, Clay Van Diest. Starting on defense, a first year from Rice Lake, Wisconsin, number 6, Chase Michaelson. On the wings, a sophomore from Evanston, Illinois, number 10, Peter Bates. On the wings, a sophomore from Tomah, Wisconsin, number 3, Timmy Nixick. And at center, a first year from Spring Grove, Illinois, number 15, Peyton Franti. Assistant coaches for the Green Knights are Andy Brandt, Kip Kirkus, Tommy Cianflone. The head coach for St. Norbert in his 26th year is Tim Coughlin. And now, let's meet the starting lineups for your Augsburg University Augies. Starting in goal, a senior from Fargo, North Dakota, number 1, Nick Schmidt. Starting at defense, a junior from Champlin, Minnesota, number 6, Jason Critch. Starting on defense, a sophomore from Boulder, Colorado, number 2, Matt Nels. On the wings, a sophomore from Farmington, Minnesota, number 20, Austin Martinson. On the wings, a sophomore from Morehead, Minnesota, number 27, Tommy Carey. And at center, a senior from St. Paul, Minnesota, number 11, Luke Deitch. Assistant coaches for the Augies are Mario Mealy, BJ O'Brien, and Mark Wick. Head coach for Augsburg in his 13th year is Chris Brown. And now to honor America, please rise and join in the singing of our national anthem. Here are your officials as assigned by the MIAC for today's game. The linesmen are Dan Hewitt and John Parker. The referees are Michael Elam and Jerry Mclaughlin. Please join me in congratulating Jerry Mclaughlin, who is retiring from officiating today after the game, after 16 years as an official. Congratulations, Jerry.
All right, so we are just about ready to drop the puck on a Saturday afternoon showdown. Number 9, Augsburg, and number 3, St. Norbert. The Augie women have already won today. They have completed a sweep of 2 different Wisconsin teams, a successful road trip into eastern territory there, just east of Minnesota for Michelle Mcateer's team. And we'll see if the Augies can complete the sweep of this high-powered St. Norbert Green Knight team. 6-5 with 11 goals last night. So we should see some fireworks. The Augies are the highest score, or second highest scoring team in the MIAC this year, with a total of 35 goals so far. And on the other side, St. Norbert, they can put the puck in the back of the net too. 45 goals for the Green Knights. So expect some fast-paced, high entertaining hockey here this afternoon from Ed Saugestad. And the Augies with the home white, and as you would expect, a team from a Green Bay suburb, St. Norbert in the green and gold this afternoon. So first possession goes to the Green Knights. Turning and firing, there's the first save off the stick of Nick Sick from Tomah, Wisconsin. The Augies trying to clear. Tommy Carey tips it to center. There forward is number 10, Peter Bates, the sophomore, as the Green Knights change for the first time 30 seconds in. Very balanced scoring attack for the Green Knights. They can do it with 3 or 4 lines. So can the Augies, but this guy has been dominant so far. Alex Rodriguez, 2 more goals last night. He's now tied for the lead in the country with 12 goals. The senior from Miami. What a breakout senior season for him. Chandler Matter to Eric Brink. Rodriguez from between the circles. And the save kicked out to the point. And controlling it is the St. Norbert goaltender this afternoon, Ryan Bontorin. He's a sophomore. This is just his second appearance. He is 1-0 with a 1.0 goals against and a save percentage of 96.4. And he did play the full 60 minutes in that one other appearance to get the win. So Bontorin called into duty here this afternoon. On the other side, as you heard just a moment ago, Nick Schmidt will get to his numbers shortly. He has been terrific for the Augies in front of a very young D-core, as you heard Chris Brown talk about in the pregame. And yes, they gave up 5 last night, but that has certainly not been the norm for this Augie defense so far this year. They are second in goals allowed in the MIAC. When you're second in scoring and second in goals allowed, it's a pretty good formula. That's why the Augies are 9-1-1 this year. 90 seconds in. Swatted to the far side by Rodriguez to Eric Brink, jumping up with Madry and Rodriguez on the top line this afternoon. Here is Chandler from Bakersfield, California, senior. An all-senior line for the Augies here with Brink from Morehead. Back to Nizelski. He swings it D to D. This is Matt Hines, and he'll send it into the Green Knight zone just about 2 minutes into the first period. Nizelski, nice keeping at the point. Able to keep it in twice as Nizelski, and a shot from just outside the circle by Austin Dahlemer, turned aside by Bontorin. So the Augie third line right now of Jake Larson, Gunnar Goodmanson, and Dahlemer getting some chances. Here's Larson, works it to Goodmanson. He'll slide it this way, and it's picked up by the Green Knights as they get it to center. Sent in by Brad Pueng, one of the co-captains, 27 in green. The Augies clear to center. This is Gavin Holland. The fourth liner's out early for the Augies, along with Subri and Charlie Parker. Gavin Holland trying to forecheck, as well as Charlie Parker. He's a Wisconsinite from the Madison suburb of Verona, Wisconsin. Bates sends it across, and a good chance in front, but it was sent wide, and then they fan on the rebound. D to D at the top of the zone. Here's a big blast that was blocked out high by Parker off the stick of Van Diest. Van Diest jumps up to keep it alive. Subri will backhand it to center, and Holland chases after it. They swat at it at the neutral zone. The Augies need a change, and they change most of the unit as now Holland sprints to the bench to complete the change. 3.5 minutes into a scoreless opening period. Luke Deach, the senior from St. Paul, tips it into Green Knight territory. Played there by Andrews for St. Norbert, and they quickly work it along the near wall to center. Patrick O'Connor, who scored his first career Augie goal last night. Congratulations to him. He's on the defensive line pairing, of course, with older brother John once again tonight. Let's go through those defensive pairings for the Augies. Jason Critch, Matt Nels, John O'Connor and Patrick O'Connor, and Matt Hines and Luke Nizelski all in front of goaltender Nick Schmidt. Schmidt's numbers this year, 4-0-1 with that 1.14 goals against and a super impressive 95.8% save percentage. Patrick O'Connor, his shot blocked out top by the presence of Christensen, who's one of their leading scorers, is Riley. Just 2 seniors in the top 10 in points for this very youthful Green Knights team this year. The Augies stop the penetration of Pueng right there as they get it through neutral themselves at the end of a change. Martinson tips it in for the Augies. 4.5 minutes into a scoreless opening period. Thrown into the zone by the Green Knights as they look to go on the forecheck. Gaffney tips it back to the point, and that one will slice out of play by Thomas with 15:15 left in period number 1. Twin Cities Orthopedics is proud to be the official sports medicine provider for Augie Athletics. They're an all-inclusive orthopedic sports medicine and wellness provider offering their world-class services and state-of-the-art facilities. Visit them online at tcomn.com. Quick start for the Augies. 5 shots on goal, just 1 so far for the Green Knights. The face-off won by St. Norbert, and that was their best chance so far as Bates released it from the slot, but Nick Schmidt stood tall and did not give up a rebound. Schmidt was injured in the first period of the opening game of the season, but has returned, and Danil Gerasimov was solid back there for them while he was gone. Obviously, you have to be if your team's continuing to win. Schmitty came back and he made 38 saves in last night's 6-5 win. To the point, Thomas, D to D. Gispers sends it down low, looking for Bates. He'll track it down to the circle, cross ice. And a Nick Six shot right into the breadbasket of Nick Schmidt. And quickly, St. Norbert countering with 3 shots on goal in the last half minute. As both teams will change, the third liners come on. The second line this afternoon for the Augies, Austin Martinson sliding back to join Tommy Carey and Luke Deach. Got a little bit more of a youthful line there with Carey and Martinson. Deach, of course, a senior. Green Knights win the draw. Van Diest sends it wide. Critch around for it with Larson. Tipped to the line, but not out. Backhand centering pass for Christensen broken up by the Augies and sent to center. Van Diest plays it right back in, but it was offside at the line. As yet to exit the zone was Cholak. 14:33 left in period number 1. How about Michelle Mcateer's team? 6 goals earlier today in a 6-3 win. Other games in the MIAC on the men's side today: Hamlin and Concordia, Wisconsin Superior and St. Mary's. And later tonight, those games were both at 2, by the way, so we'll get you a scoreboard update here as we continue to go along. Those games will have gone final by the time we reach the end of the first period. And then tonight, St. John's and St. Scholastica. As teams head toward the holiday break, just one more game for the Augies next Saturday against St. Scholastica up in Duluth. Van Diest. Pass blocked, but recovered. Here's a good chance out front. The pass across, and Schmidt with a diving save. First grade A chance right there for St. Norbert as they start to tilt the ice here in the first period. That drive from deep deflected wide. Puck still in the Augie end. Matt Nell's back for it. Sends it to Jason Critch. He backhands it along the wall for Larson, and he taps it most of the way down. Shots on goal all even at 5 apiece. As the Green Knights complete a change. Racing ahead down the left wing is Gispers. Or correction, that's Pueng with the chance right in front. Saved by Schmidt. So you're starting to see the speed of St. Norbert. Brad Pueng, the senior. This is just his 8th appearance so far this year. And he wears the captain C for the Green Knights under the direction of Tom Coughlin in his 26th season. And what a job he has done over the years, with a total of 564 wins. Played to neutral, blocked there by Davidson. Tipping it ahead, though, Austin Martinson for the Augies. Close to 7 minutes into this scoreless opening period. Here from Ed Saugestad. A bouncing puck finds Christensen. Christensen ahead, and it was blocked. Terrific play by John O'Connor. Or else Pueng would have been all alone in front. And John sends it ahead to Martinson. Long pass for Deach. Deach with carry, but he can't quite get there. Sends it off the side of the net. Davidson spins around Carey and sends it this way. Along the half wall, chipping it to center was Bates. Nizelski for the Augies. Nice sauce pass to Charlie Parker. Parker with a short angle shot and a rebound that almost got through the wickets of Von Toren, but he will cover as we start to see some physicality post-whistle. And that always happens in a back-to-back. We saw that last Saturday night in that heated Augie-St. Thomas battle that went the distance. By the distance, I mean they went into overtime, did the 5-on-5, the 3-on-3, and the shootout before the Tommies emerged with the extra point in a game that lasted close to 3 hours. Those same overtime rules, by the way, will not apply here in non-conference. They will play the 5-on-5, and then it'll just go down in the books as a tie after that, as we have, I believe, matching minors here, and probably rightly so. Charlie Parker will go for the Augies. And on the other side, Jack Thomas for St. Norbert. Would imagine these are both a 2-minute variety as we wait to see what the officials have assessed. The Augies, the least penalized team in the MIAC, and that certainly has to be a statistic, and you heard Chris Brown in the pregame interview say it has to be a statistic he's proud of so far this year for this team. And it is just 2-minute matching minors here for Thomas and Parker. Augie Hockey brought to you by Wells Fargo. They're a proud supporter of Augsburg University. Wells Fargo has a renewed focus this year on our customers and communities. Wells Fargo, established in 1852, reestablished in 2018. So 4-on-4 hockey.
Minor penalty. St. Norbert's number 11, Jack Thomas, 2 minutes for roughing. Parker for high sticking, also 2 minutes. That's Thomas. Roughing for 2 minutes at 7:26. And Parker for high sticking, that's 2 minutes at 7:06.
So there you hear the matching minors as Matt Nels races across for it and sends it to center. St. Norbert goes D-to-D, blasting it in the zone. Van Diest off a pass from Michaelson. Picked up by Chandler Madry at center. Madry gaining control. Minute 10 left in the 4-on-4. Matt Nels sends it in at the end of a shift. Behind the net, Andrews, along with Davidson on this defensive pairing for the Green Knights. Cross ice, Bates. Down the left wing, stops just in front of O'Connor. Sends it back to the point for Davison. Davison, cross ice, Andrews. Spins around Brink. And a chance erased with a big hit in front right there for the Augies, much to the pleasure of the baseball team. Here's Brink with a 2-on-1. Eric waiting. There's the pass. They score! It's Luke Deach for the Augie lead. And how about the patience right there of the senior from Morehead, Eric Brink, jumping up into the 4-on-4 here. And how about that great play behind the play? One of the O'Connor brothers was the one that delivered that hit in front to not only erase the scoring chance for the Green Knights, but also create one on the other side for Brink, and he slid it across to Deach, the easy finish, and the Aggies have a 1-0 lead with still 30 seconds left in the 4-on-4. As Christensen hits the Augie line, drops it back, and Pueng with a long-distance drive deflecting up and out of play with 10:53 remaining in the opening period. So if you're the Augies here, first period, you know St. Norbert's out for blood after just their third loss this season. All tight losses, too, by the way, for the Green Knights. They lost to Milwaukee School of Engineering earlier this year, also in overtime. As we have an icing here with 10:46 left in the opening period. Minnesota Coaches, the official bus provider.
For Augsburg at 54 seconds, his third goal of the season, number 11, Luke Deach. Assist from number 7, Eric Brink, and number 21, Patrick O'Connor. That's Deach from Brink and O'Connor at 8:54.
So there you go. As I was about to say, we'll get to that Minnesota Coaches read later. So John O'Connor delivered that hit in front. That allowed his brother Patrick to send it ahead.
St. Norbert's at full strength. Augsburg at full strength.
And it allowed that 2-on-1 to develop as Brink picking up the assist in the third of the season for Luke Deach. As I mentioned, Minnesota Coaches, the official bus provider for Augie Athletics. If you have travel needs for your group or special event, visit them online at minnesotacoaches.com to learn more or to request a quote. Thank you to Minnesota Coaches. 8-6 shots on goal. One of those finding the back of the St. Norbert net for Augsburg as they lead 1-0. We knew it was going to be high flying, potentially high scoring, and a good shot volume here for the first sixth of this game. So if you extrapolate the shots out, you've got nearly 50 for the Augies and about 30 for St. Norbert. Probably will settle down a bit from there, but it's been an entertaining first period so far. Brink to Madry. Backhand, sent it wide. Nizelski jumping up. Played it to Brandt in the corner, and then Rodriguez. He was bottled up down there. Anders trying to clear, gloved and held by Madry, or did he? No, they'll say glove, but then it was a hand pass as he controlled it and dropped it. Played by Rodriguez. We'll have a neutralized face-off with 9:49 left in period number 1. St. Norbert with a record of 8-3-1 this year, currently the number 3 team in the country. They lost to Milwaukee School of Engineering 3-2 in overtime. They lost to Adrian College 4-3 in overtime. Obviously their tie was in overtime, and they lost last night 6-5 in overtime. So no one's beat this team in regulation yet. The Augies only have one regulation loss as well. 2 top 10 teams battling this afternoon. Charlie Parker 1-on-3. Rubbed out there by Thomas. Sent to center, Patrick O'Connor. You can see the confidence building from Patrick this year. From game to game, he has steadily improved. Here's his brother John, waiting at the top of the zone, looking for some options as he sends it into a pile of bodies, and it never did get all the way through, and tipped to center by St. Norbert as John plays it right back in as the Aggies will change at the 9-minute mark remaining first period. Deach gloves and drops, then took a hit. Nick Sick spins around and finds some open ice up the near side. Nick Sick, 1-on-1, and a short angle shot there. Easy stick save off the stick of Franti from St. Norbert. Franti battling, and it was tipped away by Franti. Good speed. He shows along with his line mate Bates and Nick Sick on this starting line for St. Norbert. Here's Martinson, 3-on-2, Deach and Carey. Deach to Carey from the circle in front, and Martinson goes behind the net. Second odd man rush for the Aggies here in this first period. Trying to clear Michaelson. Spun around in the corner, got it to Bates, and it deflects to center. Van Diest sends it in at the end of his shift. Goes all the way to the point, kept alive, but only momentarily by Uchin. And here come the Augies, Gunnar Goodmanson. Tried to send it ahead for Dahlemer, too far, and Bontonen will just jump on that one. With 7:52 left in period number 1. Let's take a look at that MIAC men's hockey scoreboard here. Concordia over Hamlin 2-0, and St. Mary's earlier today 3-0 over Wisconsin Superior. As an icing call the other way. Actually, that Concordia, both those games, they're showing still in the second period. Actually, that can't be the case. We'll hit refresh. There we go. 5-1 Concordia over Hamlin, the final. So the Cobbers now match the Augies. They're now 5-0-1. Both teams with 16 points in the league. And St. Mary's with an out-of-conference win against Wisconsin Superior 4-2. So the conference doing well in the non-conference portion of the schedule this season. The Augies have a 1-0 lead here. 7:20 left first period. Out shooting the Green Knights 10-7. Trying to change that though is Christensen. Sends it into co-captain Pueng around the wall for Uchin. He sent it along the wall, but that was intercepted by Dahlemer, and the Augies are at center. Goodmanson flips it in. Back the other way, Christensen. Nice cross-ice pass. Here's Andrews up the right wing. Sends it in, gloved by Patrick O'Connor. And he'll lasso it to center. Finds Madry. Madry to A-Rod. Rodriguez looking for options. Madry was open, but a couple sticks were in the way as it deflects to neutral. Patrick O'Connor sends it into Bontonen, who leaves it behind his net with 6:35 left in the opening period. 1-0 Augsburg on a Luke Deach goal on a 2-on-1. They're both out there with Brink on this line. Working on it is Phillips in the corner. This line includes Sacco and Black for St. Norbert. Played wide by Thomas. Black over to give it a look at the half wall. He'll send it down low. Phillips back to Black. He'll backhand it down low looking for Sacco. Sacco to the point for Thomas. They just do keep it in. He'll bang it back down low for Phillips. Good zone time right here for the Green Knights. Phillips. And that one hopped over the stick of Gispers, the freshman, and all the way down. The Augies get a quick change in. Thomas will dump it back into the zone. Critch is over there, trying to find Holland, that was deflected away from him and back all the way down. Played there by Michaelson. Here's Matt Nels. Up for Subri along this fourth line with Charlie Parker and Jake Larson. Two seniors and a sophomore. Tipped in by Larson. Back come the other side. This is Gaffney for St. Norbert, their extra forward into the lineup already. Kept alive by Michaelson. He walks around Subri. They send it down low. Return pass was broken up. Just as they were trying to release it was Cholak. Cholak now backhands it back to the line, but that's intercepted by Tommy Carey. Carey with Holland, and at the end of his shift, Holland sends it in. 4:44 left first period. Nizelski will start on the back pedal. The safe play there, not to get too aggressive at neutral. Gloved by Carey, but a hand pass as Deitch, the first to touch it with 4:33 left in period number one. Devani's Pizza and Hot Hoagies is Augsburg Athletics' first choice for a great meal. They're located right across the street from campus and offers their famous Augie-matic discount, 10% off any order. Just tell them you want the Augie-matic discount at Devani's. Shot still in favor of Augsburg at 10-7. The Augies trying to be the first team to defeat St. Norbert in regulation this year. All three of their losses coming in the extra session. Deitch on the draw, plays it through center. Andrews with Davidson on this defensive pairing for St. Norbert. Up ahead, this is Uchin on the right wing, sends it down to Pueng. Nice job by Pueng to work to space. It was broken away though by Nizelski. Kept alive in the zone. This is Uchin. He will fire toward the net and they score. Traffic out front and it slipped by Nick Schmidt. We'll see who gets credited with the goal. The initial shot came from Uchin. And St. Norbert has leveled it at one apiece. Time of the goal 15:56 of the first period. Good physical play by the Green Knights leading to that chance. If it's Roman Uchin, that would be his 6th of the season. We'll find out shortly. John O'Connor back forward for the Aggies with under 4 to go in the first. Dahlemer plays it up ahead. Here's Gunnar Goodmanson. Back for Dahlemer, but too far as he was tied up by Nixick. Over to give it a look. St. Norbert pried away by Dahlemer. Back to the point. Patrick O'Connor, wrister, deflected wide. Dahlemer back for Larson. He'll try to keep it alive, but finds a stick of Bates. Bates with a 2-on-2 along with Franti. Bates around one and then slid it through the crease. Here comes John O'Connor back through center. Had a steam for the junior, but then bumped off the puck. And back the other way, here comes Black. Black, drop back pass. And a shot blocked out high.
Scoring for St. Norbert at 15:54. His 7th goal of the season, number 26, Riley Christensen, with assists from number 28, Luke Davidson, and number 17, Roman Ukin. That's Christensen with assists from Davidson and Ukin at 15:54.
So Christensen now only one, as we have a delayed penalty on Augsburg here. Christensen only one back of leading scorer Kurt Black for St. Norbert. And, of course, Uchin picking up the assist there, his 6th, and they give a second assist as well. And we'll have our first power play as Eric Brink is going to go for 2 minutes. St. Norbert on the power play so far this year at 20.8%. Augsburg has been very good on the penalty kill so far this year at 89.5% on the season. 2.5 minutes left in the first. Power play time for the Green Knights. As Goodmanson tries to dig it free
the
instead.
Minor penalty has been assessed to Augsburg. Number 7, Eric Brink, 2 minutes for slashing. That's Brink, 2 minutes for slashing at 17:20.
So you hear the slashing call for Eric Brink as that blast from Gispers found the glove of Nick Schmidt for his 8th save of the period. Shots 10-9 in favor of Augsburg. Gispers sends it around to Christensen. Gispers plays it over. This is Uchin waiting at the circle. Christensen. 30 seconds gone by. Uchin sends a shot right on, and with big number 12 Milligan in front, that was covered by Nick Schmidt with 2:02 left in the first period. Whether you're traveling for work or taking a vacation from it, the Courtyard Minneapolis downtown helps you put more play in your stay. From the gym and pool to redesigned guest rooms and social lobby space, they've got you covered. Visit them at courtyardminneapolis.com/Augsburg. Make a little room for a little fun at Courtyard. Final 2 minutes of the first period. Sacco back up top, and that was deflected. The drive released by Davison. Davison holds at the line. He'll throw it back down low midway through the first power play of the game. Here's a chance for a clear, and the Aggies get it done as John O'Connor sends it all the way down. Deach looking for a steal back there. Larson's going to get to it. Jake Larson with a move. He'll go to the backhand. Larson, a shot. He scores! Short-handed goal, Augsburg, and they have the lead back once again. What a play by Jake Larson, the senior, showing you some handles and then finishing near side. His 3rd of the year. I don't think they're going to credit Deach with an assist on that play, but he certainly caused a little bit of hurry up by goaltender Bontonen back there. And the loose puck found the stick of Larson. He did the rest. So a surprising goal there for the Augies with 30 seconds left of power play time. And a bad pass from the Green Knights goes all the way down. There is certainly a bonus goal that you probably don't expect.
1 minute remaining in the period. 1 minute.
Against the number 3 team in the country on a shorty. They're looking to equalize. Penalty coming, and they score. Uchin with a beautiful move. Just like that, it's a 2-2 game. That's why you can't relax for a moment against this team. We saw that last night as the Green Knights came from 3 down to tie it in the 3rd. And Roman Uchin now with a goal and an assist for St. Norbert here in the first period. The penalty to Brandt did expire before that goal went in, but Jason Critch is going to get, I believe, a hooking call here, and we'll still have to serve that penalty as it was scored on the delay. So the Green Knights right back on the power play.
His 3rd goal of the season, number 16, Jake Larson, and with assists from number 18, Gavin Holland, and 27, Tommy Carr. For Augsburg, Larson from Holland and Carr at 18:37.
St. Norbert on the power play for another minute 36 as we're down to 29.5 seconds left in the period as Nick Schmidt makes the save. 12 shots for the Green Knights now, 11 for Augsburg. We expect a high-scoring game, and we have 4 goals in this first period. The Green Knights looking for more. Sacco sends it across as it's snapped off, blocked out high, and then Schmidt covers the rebound with Black cracking away. The Augsburg fellows will come to the aid of Schmidt and get Black out of there as quickly as he can. 20.9 left in the period. They haven't announced yet the St. Norbert goal, but it was Roman Yuchin on a beautiful move.
Scoring for St. Norbert at 19:06. His 6th goal of the season, number 17, Roman Uken. Assist from number 12, Keegan Mickelson. That's number 17, Uken, from number 12, Mclaughlin, at 19:06.
I think they announced Michaelson, but it was 12 for St. Norbert as Keegan Milligan, the sophomore from Emerald Park, Saskatchewan, Canada, picking up the assist. Here's a drive blocker save by Schmidt. St. Norbert still on the power play for another minute 20. 10 more seconds for the Augies to kill in this period. The O'Connor brothers trying to do that down there. It squirts free. Madry, nice job to hold it along the wall. 2 seconds and 1. And that's how the first period will end. Are we going to get a late penalty? We'll see here. One of the Augies was dumped right in front of its own bench, and they might assess a St. Norbert penalty with no time left in this period, and that would certainly help out the Augies. Jason Critch still in the box for minute 7, and they have assessed a penalty to St. Norbert. Peyton Franti, the freshman from Spring Grove, Illinois, one of a couple of Chicago area kids on this St. Norbert team. He will go for 2 minutes. We're not sure for what yet, but that penalty is up on the board. So the St. Norbert power play has come to a close. They are 0 for 2 on the power play so far. The Aggies yet to record a power play opportunity as we have reached the end of the first period with a 2-2 tie here at Ed Saugestad. Well, owned and operated by an Augie alumnus, 360 Wow Inc. is the parent company to several up-and-coming brands in the Twin Cities, including 1-800-GOT-JUNK, You Move Me, and Shack Shine. If you're looking for a great job on a great team with great pay near campus, learn more or apply online by visiting their website, 360wowinc.com, and that's Inc. with a C. The Corner Bar is a proud sponsor of Augsburg Athletics. They're located in the historic Seven Corners district of Minneapolis. The Corner Bar is that perfect place for great food, outstanding pizza, and their almost world-famous Joey Wings. And there's tons of screens, so you'll never miss a second of the sports action. Visit thecorner.bar for more information on the Corner Bar. Well, a lot to talk about here in the first period. The Augies getting a shorthanded goal from Jake Larson and an even strength goal from Luke Deach. And on the other side, St. Norbert picking up goals from Riley Christensen and Roman Yukin as we are all even at 2 apiece. Shots on goal unofficially in the period as we're waiting to get the official first period stats. 14 up on the board for the visitors from the Green Bay area and 11 for the Augies. Let's get you caught up on the MIAC hockey scoreboard here on your Saturday, the final weekend or so for most of the teams in the conference. The Augies have one more game up in Duluth next weekend against St. Scholastica. Concordia has pulled even with the Augies in the MIAC standings, both teams at 5-0-1. Concordia 9-2-2 overall. They are having an outstanding season, obviously, and they dominated Hamlin this afternoon earlier, 5-1 that final. And how about St. Mary's? They picked up their first win of the season last Friday night, and they do it again this afternoon, moving to 2-9-3 overall. 3 first-period goals for St. Mary's in a 4-2 win over Wisconsin Superior. St. John's and St. Scholastica will drop the puck later tonight at 7 o'clock. How about on the women's side? Some good news to report if you're an Augie fan, and most of you watching probably are. Michelle Mcateer's team completed a successful Wisconsin road trip this weekend, winning by 3 last night, and then against Marion earlier today, a 6-3 win for the Aggies. Scoring 3 in the first period there was Augsburg. Let's run down that scoring summary. Valerie Wichello for the Augies with the goal to open play. That was just 39 seconds in, so the Augies got up quickly this afternoon. Bridget Walter with less than 5 minutes gone by put the Augies up 2. Nikki Nightingale made it 3-1. Other Augsburg goals as they pulled away 6-3. Bailey Bean. Nikki Nightingale, again, 2 for her this afternoon. And Bridget Wagner, Wags, capping the scoring on the power play within the final 2 minutes of the third period as the Augies pull away to win it 6-3 this afternoon. Other games on the women's side. End of 2, Concordia and Northland tied at 2 goals apiece. Earlier this afternoon, Wisconsin River Falls, boy, have they been a powerhouse this year. They dominated Gustavus, winning 4-0 down in St. Peter. The Gustavus Gusties now 7-3-1. By the way, Augsburg 7-3 in their first 10 games, so they are in very good shape. Michelle Mcateer's team having a very good first half of the season, putting themselves certainly in playoff position for the second half of the year for them. Start of the second period, St. Kate's and Concordia, Wisconsin, scoreless. Stevens Point and St. Mary's, the only other game on the women's side. They dropped at 4 o'clock, but have not seen a score reported in that one this afternoon. That's your women's hockey scoreboard update here on a Saturday afternoon at Ed Saugestad. Let's run down the first period statistics. 2-2 tie here between the Augies and Green Knights. Luke Deach got on the board for the Augies at 8:54, his third of the year. Assists went to Eric Brink, his third, and Patrick O'Connor, his third. It was 1-0 Augsburg, but then St. Norbert leveled it at a goal apiece. Riley Christensen on an even strength goal, his 7th of the season, assisted by Luke Davison and Roman Uchin. Made it 1-1. Then the Augies took the lead again. A shorthanded goal from Jake Larson, unassisted, his 3rd of the season. And then at 19:06, Roman Uchin on a delayed penalty, scoring on that backhand, assisted by Keegan Milligan to make it 2-2. Shots on goal, in fact, were 14-11 in favor of St. Norbert. Power plays in the period. St. Norbert 1 of 2, and the Augies yet to attempt a power play in this game. Saves in the period, Ryan Bontorin, the sophomore for St. Norbert with 9, and Nick Schmidt, 12 for the Augies. Penalties in the period. Charlie Parker, a high sticking call at 7:26. That was the matching minor along with Jack Thomas, who had a roughing call also at 7:26. Eric Brink went for a slash at 17:20. Jason Critch, a hooking call at 19:06. And that's when Uchin scored on that delayed power play. And then Peyton Franti, with no time left, right at the end of the period, a slashing call. And both he and Critch will be in the box when we start the second period. Face-offs in the period, 15-9 in favor of St. Norbert, as Keegan Milligan won all 4 of his face-offs attempted. Well, an exciting first period to this one, as we expected between these teams. They combined for 11 goals last night, already 4 this afternoon. A 2-2 tie. We'll take a short break and be back to get you ready for period number 2, the Augies and the Green Knights here on Augie Game Day. Back at Ed Saugestad Rink on the campus of Augsburg University. MIAC hockey on Augie game day. Josh Powers and engineer Tom Ritchie with you. 2-2 is our score after one period of play. Number 9 Augsburg, number 3 St. Norbert. The Augies trying for the sweep, winning 6-5 last night in overtime. That would be a 10-win first half of the season for Chris Brown's team. They would certainly jump up a fair amount in the polls. They might do that anyway, regardless of the result here this afternoon. Not that polls matter all that much at this stage in the season, but certainly it would be some validation of what the team has done in the first half of the year. Chance to remind you before we start the second period, Jimmy John's is the number 1 sandwich choice for Augsburg Athletics. They're located on the northwest corner of campus and provide fast delivery. How fast? Freaky fast. Go to jimmyjohns.com to view their menu and hours. And you can take a trip down memory lane at Memory Lane and Flashback Cafe on 26th Avenue in South Minneapolis. With their 30 bowling lanes, live entertainment, great food, and 2 game rooms, it always makes for a great time. Visit Memory Lanes, MPLS.com for more information. Matching minors, well, not matching minors. Both teams have a person in their respective penalty boxes to start the second period. There's a minute 7 left in the call to Jason Critch, his 2-minute penalty. And then, remember, right at the end of that period, Peyton Franti was assessed a 2-minute minor, so he will start serving his penalty when we drop the puck. On period number 2, the Augies, the home white skating from right to left.
The following minor penalty has been assessed to St. Norbert. Number 15, Peyton Franti, 2 minutes for slashing. That's Franti, 2 minutes for slashing at 20 minutes.
So in 55 seconds, the Augies will begin, albeit a shortened power play, but it'll be their first of the afternoon. Roman Yuchin sends it to the point. Deach battling for it, played away from him. Patrick O'Connor back for it. Seeing his offense increase this weekend. Yuchin pries it away. Circling at the circle. Roman, nice move, but poked away by Matt Nels. Picked up by Pueng, their captain. Brad Pueng between the circles, deflected wide. Up ice, that got under the stick of Deach. 15 seconds remaining in the penalty to Critch. Here's Austin Martinson, room up the left wing. His drive sails high and wide as it comes to Alex Rodriguez. 5 seconds left in the penalty to Critch, and now the Augies start
Augsburg
first power play of the
strength.
afternoon. They have 51 seconds on it remaining. An Augie power play that's just a shade under 20% now, 18.8. Penalty kill numbers for St. Norbert right there with Augsburg, very solid at 88.9%. 44 seconds left in the penalty to Franti. Freshman from Spring Grove, Illinois. There's a lot of Chicago kids. Roman Yuchin, Jack Gaffney, TJ Black, Austin Smith, Peter Bates, all in the Chicago area. Brink sends it far side to Chandler Madry, 35 to shoot. Madry will. Blocked out high. Nice block there by Gispers. Behind the net, Tommy Carey. Madry, John O'Connor. O'Connor crisscrosses with Brink. Stops with the circle. Sends it down low, Tommy Carey. 15 in the power play. One-timer. Whistled wide by Madry. Freezing it along the wall is the co-captain Phillips. 5 seconds in, the penalty to Franti. Dug out of there by the Augies, but it'll harmlessly trickle in front of goaltender Bontonen. The sophomore from Calgary, Alberta, Canada, with 1 second left in the penalty to Franti. Exactly 2 minutes into period 2. We're all even at 2. Josh Powers with you this afternoon on Augie Game Day, trying to complete a successful Augie hockey weekend. Michelle Mcateer's team already has 2 wins. Chris Brown's team won last night. Can we go 4 for 4?
St. Norbert at
Dolliver a shot. As the penalty expires, now Franti out of the box. Fresh sheet of ice helps that one go all the way down to Nick Schmidt. Here's a drive that hits the shoulder of Schmidt for his 13th save of the game. And emerging with the puck, the Augies. Jake Larson. Up for Austin Dahlemer, tipped away from him and sent the other way by the captain Pueng. Franti, drop back pass. Sacco in front, but Schmidt was there. He was looking for Franti, but Nick Schmidt covers with 17:28 remaining in the second period. One more contest for the Augie men before we hit the holiday break. Next Saturday, they will play up in Duluth against St. Scholastica. And then we start the new year, 2019, with Hamlin. It's a road game on Friday, and our next broadcast Saturday, right here at 7 o'clock against the Hamlin Pipers. Luke Deach, who scored back in the first period, tips it up ahead to Carey. Settles the puck. Carey, short angle, actually went to Austin Martinson. Hit off his skate, though. They didn't get a shot off. Martinson wields it back down for Deach, and now Carey looking to distribute. He'll cycle it back for Deach. Martinson tried to one-time pass out front, but partially fanned on it. And Andrews sends it along the far wall. Carey holds it the line. Plays it back down low. Andrews will try this side. And it's played to center. Here's Bates. Swats it into the Augie zone. 3.5 minutes gone by, middle period. Martinson tipped it by Andrews to center, so racing back for it, the freshman from Fond du Lac. Gispers, he gave it away though. Madry moving in. Madry the shot! Saved by Bontonen. At neutral, John O'Connor had surrendered the line. Tried to play it back in, but hit some people right at the line. And St. Norbert sends it the other way. Nick Schmidt leaves it for Patrick O'Connor. Then Brandt took a shove along the half wall. Patrick will try the far side, and it'll sneak past the line, but this will go all the way for icing with 15:58 left, second period. Twin Cities Orthopedics, they're proud to be the official sports medicine provider for Augsburg Athletics. With more than 35 convenient locations, they deliver the highest quality of specialized orthopedic and sports medicine care for individuals and athletes of all levels and ages. Visit them online at tcomn.com. Shots now 17-13 in favor of the visitors. Still even at 2 apiece. Early stages, second period. Face-off win for the Augies. Back to John O'Connor. Finds younger brother Patrick. Chip to center. Brink will settle this bouncing puck. Had it tipped away, but it finds Rodriguez, who slid it between the skates of Madry. Brink turns and fires from the circle. That was blocked out high. And Pugh sends it the other way. Good physical play by Jason Critch at the line, and the puck deflects into the bench of St. Norbert. Their head coach in his 26th year, Tim Coughlin, 564 wins. Just 144 losses. And then on the other side, in his 13th season, Chris Brown. 161 wins at Augsburg, 230 overall for Chris Brown. And a big one last night over number 3, St. Norbert. Critch will surrender the line, but Larson kept it in. And Bontonen will cover that one with 15:11 left in the second period. A young St. Norbert team, just 2 of their top 10 scorers this year are seniors for the perennial Final Four contender, Frozen Four contender, whatever you want to call it. And certainly they've defeated the Augies the last 3 times in the NCAA tournament. Good to have the Augies get a little bit of revenge last night. Nixick for St. Norbert ahead. Franti sends it in with 5 minutes gone by here in the second period. Here's the Augies. Goodmanson sends it far side. Matt Nels will latch on at neutral. Nels snaps one off, and it finds the glove of Bontonen with 14:47 left in period number 2. Seen to my left, Charlie Beatty, Tom Witchen. That must mean the basketball game is over at Cy Melby Hall. Tom must be relieved not to be doing camera duty. He spent 2 hours and 50 minutes last Saturday night on camera duty. That goes to Tom Ritchie here this afternoon. That was a wild one last Saturday against St. Thomas. That was two old rivals doing battle in the MIAC. Here comes the speed of leading scorer Black. Tipped away from him, and the Aggies might have a rush the other way. Numbers if they hurry. Tommy Carey had it poked away at center. Terrific defensive play by St. Norbert, and now a penalty on the Augies. Austin Martinson's going to go for what will probably be a trip. They'll say a hook instead. Either way, he impeded the progress of the Green Knights, and they will go on power play number 3. The Aggies have had one. St. Norbert 1 for 2. They got that goal by Uchin back in the second period on a delayed penalty. And now Martinson with a hooking call. St. Norbert power play number 3. Franti to take the draw. Davidson and Sacco back to quarterback this power play as Davidson sends it to Sacco. Back to Davidson. His wrister. Kicked wide by Schmidt.
The following minor penalty has been assessed to Augsburg. Number 20, Austin Martinson. 2 minutes for hooking.
Good save.
Martinson, 2 minutes for hooking at 5:36.
Good save by Schmidt on a Bates drive. Bates, though, again, and he scores. What a shot by Peter Bates right in the top corner. There was not much room over there as Nick Schmidt slid over quickly. But that's what makes Bates a special player. That's his 4th of the season. And now tied for the team lead in points is Peter Bates. Just a sniper shot right there, exactly 6 minutes into the period. And St. Norbert has its first lead of the game at 3-2 on their second power play goal of the game. So we'll see how the Augies respond. Their first deficit since late in the first period last night against St. Norbert with these two teams this weekend. Rodriguez hit the stick of Brink, deflected wide, picked up by Madry. Madry back for Rodriguez, tipped away from him, and picked up by Uchin. Uchin to center, Pueng. Back for Uchin, that went all the way through. 6.5 minutes gone by, period number 2. The Green Knights have taken a 3-2 lead on a power play goal by Peter Bates. At neutral, Thomas sends it back into the Augie zone. Played there by Schmidt. Nels to Critch, too far for him.
Norbert at 6 minutes. His first goal of the season, number 10, Peter Bates, with assists from number 28, Luke Davidson, and number 9, Dominic Sacco. This power play goal from Bailey, with assists from Davidson and Sacco at 6 minutes.
Well, they announced Bailey. Peter Bates picked up the goal certainly for St. Norbert there, and it was not his first of the year. That is his 4th of the season for Peter. Good idea, though, at the end of that play, throwing it in front for a potential Augie screen and or a rebound. But Bontonen was right there for St. Norbert. 12:59 left middle period as the officials once again separate these two teams. And we have an open penalty box for both sides right now. Much like we saw in the first period. Appears to be matching minors. Alex Rodriguez steps into the Augie box. St. Norbert box is still open. And begrudgingly trekking in there is Thomas for the Green Knights. So we will be 4-on-4. We had one 4-on-4 stretch back in the first period. Tom Coughlin asking one of the officials what he saw over there. "19 shots on goal for St. Norbert, 16 for the Augies. The visitors trying to avoid a sweep. They lead 3-2. The 4 for the Augies, Goodmanson, Larson, John O'Connor, and Patrick O'Connor.
The following minor penalty has been assessed to Augsburg. Number 23, Alex Rodriguez. 2 minutes for roughing. 2 2 minutes roughing at 7:01. The following minor penalty has been assessed to Norbert, number 11, Jake Thomas, 2 minutes for roughing. That's Thomas, 2 minutes for roughing.
That shot misses wide of Nick Schmidt. John O'Connor pries it free. A minute 35 left in the 4-on-4. He will circle back and lost his edge. Did he get it to center, though, and Larson swats it the rest of the way as they head to the bench for a fresh 3 out of the 4 skaters, and now Goodmanson will make it a fresh 4 for 4. Brandt, Critch, Deach, and Nels jump onto the ice for the Augies. Critch in the corner. Digs it far side for Matt Nels, up to Deach. He'll let it go through to Brandt. Eric Brandt set up that first goal of the game for the Augies on a pass to Deach back in the first period. Deach at neutral. Matt Nels with a little toe move, trying to get around Davidson but couldn't. Christensen is up ahead for St. Norbert. Working 1-on-2, a long distance shot. Schmidt gave up the rebound, but Nels is there for the Augies to clean it up. 45 to go in the 4-on-4. 11:40 second period. Brandt slides it ahead to Deach. Deach back to Brandt. Brandt at the circle, tips it, but not to his stick. It was stolen by St. Norbert. Bates up ahead. And now Davidson moving in. Drop back pass was behind Nick Sick, and it goes to center for Andrews. Andrews to Bates. Bates trying to get around John O'Connor. Tipped. Nick Sick latches on. 10 seconds left in the 4-on-4. Nick Sick open ice. He'll go behind the net. Threw it out front. And now Bates plays it back to the middle. Deach was there for the Augies. As both penalties expire, we're back to 5-on-5.
St. Norbert at full strength and Augsburg at full strength.
Patrick O'Connor from the circle. Blocker save by Bontonen. Andrews leaves it behind the net for Gispers. Larson gets in the way of that pass up to center. And Franti, did he get a piece of it? They say no, so an icing call on St. Norbert with 10:37 left in the second period. Well, if you want to know a secret about Devani's Pizza and Hot Hoagies, they mix their dough fresh in shop several times throughout the day, and they locally source ingredients as much as possible, like their award-winning Wisconsin mozzarella cheese. That's why Devani's Pizza tastes so good. Are you craving Devani's yet? Getting close to dinner time here. A 4 o'clock start this afternoon at Ed Saugestad. Andrews backhands it into the Augsburg zone at the end of his shift. Struggling with it a little bit there is Matt Hines. As the Augies unable to clear. Good forecheck there. Milligan works it along the wall. Intercepted, though, by Gunnar Goodmanson. Gunnar sends it far side. Here's a drive by Dahlemer, saved by Bontonen, and the rebound goes behind the net. Big hit by Gunnar, who has the puck across to Larson, and he sent it off the side of the net. Big hit by Goodmanson that led to a great chance, and Larson just couldn't quite settle that in time. And that's offside at the line as we've reached the midway point of this hockey game. 3-2 St. Norbert. Josh Powers along with engineer Tom Ritchie. Glad you're spending some of your weekend with us in a high-quality matchup between two top 10 teams. St. Norbert, number 3 this week, Augsburg, number 9, but it was the Augies winning last night in overtime, 6-5. Snapping that 8-game winless streak against the Green Knights, including 3 of them in the last 3 NCAA tournaments. Kicked ahead. Here's Phillips, the co-captain, stops at the corner. Phillips being hounded by Critch, works to space, and a rebound given up, but swinging and missing was Cholak on a bouncing puck. Brandt unable to clear. From the point, a blast. That deflected wide off the stick of Van Diest. The Augies need a clear. They get it to center. Sent right back in, though, by Michaelson. So no change yet. Nels, nice pass off the wall to Critch. And quickly to center for Brandt. Eric Brandt. Shot blocked. He'll try it again as he got pushed to the ice and sent it wide. Michaelson was being, you could say, hooked from behind by Madry, and there's the call. The Aggies aren't going to like it, I don't think, but it was certainly a hook by Chandler Madry, as St. Norbert will go on power play number 4 now. As the least penalized team in the MIAC has taken now 6 penalties, 4 of them resulting in power plays and 2 in 4-on-4 situations. So a big moment here. You don't want to fall behind by multiple goals against this team in St. Norbert. The Augies need a penalty kill. They've been very good this year at close to 90%.
The following minor penalty has been assessed to Augsburg number 15, Chandler Madry. 2 minutes for hooking. That's Madry, 2 minutes for hooking at 11:22.
Here's a steal by Larson. Remember, he had a shorty in the first period, working hard on the penalty kill, along with Goodmanson and the O'Connell brothers. Look at Jake Larson. Causes that interception, and it's tipped back to Larson. Back for Goodmanson, but it was stolen at the last second on a great play by Van Diest. The other way, a shot by Baker into the midsection of Nick Schmidt. So we go end to end on the St. Norbert power play. Almost a one-on-one shot with a goalie there, but what a play by Van Diest to cleanly steal away that pass. And then Baker, their leading scorer, got a good shot at, Black got a good shot at it along the left wing. 8:05 left in the second period. Still 3-2, St. Norbert, as they win the draw. 1:25 left of power play time. They're 1 for 3. Nick 6 sends it down low. Milligan leaves it for Christensen. Critch fell, but got back up quickly. Uchin sends it across, and that drive never did get all the way through off the stick of Gispin. The Augies a chance to clear, and the backhand by Matt Nels goes all the way down as we're midway through the 4th power play of the game for the Green Knights. 7:30 left, second period. Milligan plays it in. Schmidt off the wall. Milligan tried for a quick shot, fanned on it. Came to Uchin. Gispers, D-to-D Christensen. Well, he's a forward, but he's playing back there along the line. Gispers a shot, deflects high over the top. Uchin finds Nixick, who got hit from behind right as he delivered that shot, as it trickles on to Schmidt, and we've got more activity down there. As Uchin got tangled up with Schmidt and went head over heels. 29 seconds left in the power play, 7:06 for the second period. Augie Hockey brought to you by Wells Fargo. They're a proud supporter of Augsburg University. Wells Fargo is earning back your trust this year. It's their greatest priority. Wells Fargo, established in 1852, reestablished in 2018. Face-off 1. Davison. Sacco back to Davison. He'll release, and it was deflected wide. On the half wall, Bates couldn't quite gain control, and John O'Connor sends it all the way down. Final 10 seconds of power play time, and the penalty to Chandler Madry. Sacco with a head of steam. Send it in front, and Bates, what a save by Nick Schmidt.
At full strength.
Peter Bates, that looked like a certain goal, but Nick Schmidt extended that left leg and somehow kept it out. And the penalty is over now to Madry, so the Augies dodge a big bullet. What a pass there. By the way, from Dominic Sacco from Brooklyn, New York. Slid it perfectly in front for Bates. Nick Schmidt making his most important save and maybe most impressive save of the game. 25 shots for St. Norbert, 19 for the Augies. They're back to 5-on-5 with 6:37 left in the second period. The draw squeezes between the circles, and Schmidt makes another save on a backhanded chance by Evan Cholak. He's a freshman from Kenosha, Wisconsin. A lot of Wisconsin and Illinois kids on this St. Norbert team, just south of Green Bay, De Pere, Wisconsin, and as you would expect, a lot of Minnesota kids on this Augsburg University team. 6:30 left second period. Kept alive, running and firing, and missing wide was Van Diest. Michaelson tried to play it in front. That was stolen by the Augies. Nizelski to center. Rodriguez was able to tip it, so no icing. Brandt there for it for the Augies. As they get it to the line, kept alive by Hines. And now Nizelski sends it down low, a caroming puck out front. Got past Bontonen, but the D was there to clean it up. Here's Christensen, tried to squeeze around a check of Nizelski, partially did, but Nizelski impeded the progress. Brandt at center. Hits the line, looking for options, centering pass, Rodriguez! Lost his edge, Brandt threw it in front, and cleared away by St. Norbert. That was a good chance for the nation's co-leading scorer in A-Rod. But he just couldn't keep that edge as he tried to go back to his right side. 5:20 left as they play on in that situation. Thrown in by Nick Sick. Jason Critch to Martinson. One-time touch to Deach, who was harassed at center as it caroms back into Augie territory with 5 minutes left to play, second period, in a one-goal game. Headed for a good third. Martinson with Carey, the pass across, and penalty coming. Carey to Nels with a blast and a blocker saved by Bontonen. And the Augies are going to go on their second power play of the game as Tommy Carey was being held up. So a good transition there for the Augies to get a scoring chance, which drew the penalty. And it's a high sticking call. That's going to go against Luke Davison, local kid right there in De Pere, Wisconsin. So power play number 2 for the Augies. The first one was abbreviated.
The following minor penalty has been assessed to St. Norbert, number 28, Luke Davidson, 2 minutes for high sticking. Davidson, 2 minutes for high sticking, 15-11.
An immediate clear on that power play. The Augies at 18.9% this year. St. Norbert, 88.9 on the penalty kill. First 2-minute power play for the Augies. Blockers save Bontonen. John O'Connor holds. Madry to Carey, along with Rodriguez and Brandt on this power play. Eric Brandt at the circle, fires. Saved by Bontonen. Madry on the half wall, collects. Drops it back down low for Carey, deflected away from him. Franti will hold down there. Correction, that's Van Diest. Brandt working on him, along with Carey. 4 minutes left, second period. Still a minute 10 of power play time, but it's drizzling away there in the corner. Still a pile up. Who will emerge? Spent about 15 seconds down there already. Brandt trying to shovel it out of there, but couldn't. Still pinned along the wall. Brandt finally, after about 25 seconds down there. John O'Connor, Madry, waiting, firing! Bontonen got a piece of it. As Madry collects in the corner, working it free though, a nice play by Thomas, and he'll clear. The Augies will change. Spent a lot of time out of there, but they didn't move a lot because the puck was frozen along the wall for close to 30 seconds. Cross ice, Austin Martinson will try to track it down in the corner. Andrews there first for St. Norbert, and there it goes. Final few seconds ticking off the power play clock to Davison, and the Augies will be 0 for 2 on the man advantage. Davison out of the box.
St. Norbert at full strength.
2:45 left second period as the Augies are offside. 2 shots on goal for the Augies in that power play, but both were sort of the harmless variety there. Shots on goal so far, 26-23 in favor of St. Norbert. Jimmy John's is the #1 sandwich choice for Augsburg Athletics. They're located on the northwest corner of campus and provide fast delivery. How fast? Freaky fast. Go to jimmyjohns.com to view their menu and hours. 2:35 left second period. St. Norbert has the only goal in this period, a power play marker from Peter Bates. Gunnar Goodmanson trying to dig it free from the wall. Dahlemer chasing, but St. Norbert gets it to neutral. Here's Christensen down the right wing. Plays it down low. Phillips, or correction, that's played to center by the Augies instead. Jake Larson. That'll go all the way down, but not far enough for icing. Thomas with 2 minutes left in the period. Finds Black. Black to center. Playing it into the zone. This is Stephen Mather, number 22, as St. Norbert changes. Martinson got a piece of it, but deflected it too high. It finds that netting back on that side of the arena. We'll go back to neutral ice with 1:47 left in the second period. Augie women's hockey winning earlier today, 6-3. They were 2-0 this weekend. Good weekend for Michelle Mcateer's team, especially on the goal department. 9 of them tallying this weekend. That will certainly increase their confidence, especially offensively for the women's team as they look ahead to their second half. We know what the Augie women can do defensively. They're one of the top teams in the MIAC, as are the men. Men also one of the top scoring teams in the conference, which is a deadly combination. That's why they're 9-1-1 this year. Here's Brink with Rodriguez. Brink, two-way run, and he can't quite find the tip. Rodriguez behind the net, tried to throw it out front that hit the skate of Brink and deflected back behind the net.
1 minute remains in the period, 1 minute.
Teach fires, and that was deflected before it got onto Bontonen. Here's a chance in front, and Bontonen hangs on. Good pressure by the Augies in the period's final minute. The Green Knights blocking a couple of shots. There's some good looks, especially that one from Deach in the high slot. Things starting to get chippy, as they usually do on the back end of a weekend. We saw it last weekend against St. Thomas. Probably that was a little bit more intense in terms of the teams with a rivalry. But over the last 3 years, remember, these teams have played in the regular season and in the postseason, so they're very familiar with each other. .9 in the period. Madry winning the draw. Comes back to play it himself. To the corner for Brink. Rodriguez. Behind the net. Throws it out front. A bouncing puck. Bontonen saw it just in time as we have more rough stuff. And immediately the baseball team jumps to the plexiglass and starts hammering away. They are there every home game for the Augies. Great support over the last number of years. Just a tradition for the baseball team. Most of them got hockey jerseys on. 41.5 seconds left, period 2. Can the Augies find one here in the final minute to equalize? Remember last night the Augies led by 2 after 2. It was St. Norbert, though, that got a late goal in the second period to get closer. Another draw by Madry. John O'Connor send it wide. Rodriguez in front for Madry. And John O'Connor sends it back down low as the Augies bellowing for a penalty. And now finally they whistle it dead with Brink tied up with Van Diest. And you can tell those two don't like each other very much. And I think, well, they're ushering Van Diest and probably Brink, I would imagine, to the box. And yes, both are going to go. So another 4-on-4. Brink is upset. As Brink yelling something over to Van Diest, and the two exchanging words in their respective penalty boxes, as you can see right there. Both are seniors, so both of these guys have played each other the last 3 years, developing those relationships, I guess is a good way to put it. Rivalries between these two teams. St. Norbert winning 8 in a row until last night. The Augies finally upending the Green Knights 6-5. So we got a second Augie player entering the penalty box, Ben Hendrickson. Now he wasn't on the ice, so this must be some sort of a delayed, I would have to think we might see a delay of game here on Eric Brandt, would be my only suspicion. Normally you have a player serving a penalty when it's against the goaltender, but certainly Nick Schmidt was about 150 feet away from the play.
St. Norbert's number 16, Clay Van Diest, 2 minutes for interference. That's Van Diest, 2 minutes for interference at 19:30. The following minor penalty has been assessed to Augsburg, number 7, Eric Brink, 2 minutes for interference. That's Brink, 2 minutes for interference at 19:30.
Well, they've only announced one penalty to Brink, and not sure why Hendrickson is in the box, and that's the only penalty running at the moment. Final 5 seconds of the period, and a chance across, sent just wide. 1 second, Sacco sends it in front, and it deflects to the corner. So a frantic way to end the second period, as St. Norbert on its 5th power play of the game. And it was a power play marker earlier in the period, which has given them the lead 3-2. Peter Bates scoring on the man advantage to give St. Norbert a 1-goal lead as we head to period number 3. Whether it's across town or across the country, let Minnesota Coach's quality equipment and experienced, courteous drivers provide you worry-free transportation. Overnight and extended trip options are available. Visit minnesotacoaches.com today to request a quote. Minnesota Coaches, the official bus provider for Augsburg Athletics. And you can stay in the center of all the action at Courtyard Minneapolis downtown with the Bistro Bar and Media Pods, tech-enabled guest rooms, free Wi-Fi, and more. Courtyard helps you put more play in your stay. Visit them at courtyardminneapolis.com/Augsburg. Make room for a little fun at Courtyard. 3-2 at the end of 2 here. Augsburg trying to complete the sweep of St. Norbert after snapping that 8-game losing streak last night. St. Norbert trying to get on the winning track. The number 3 team in the country at 8-3-1. Augsburg, the number 9 team in the country at 9-1-1. Let's get you up to date on the hockey scores from around the MIAC. Earlier today, Wisconsin River Falls moving to 10-1 with a 4-0 win at Gustavus. The Gusties fall to 7-3-1. And Augsburg completing a 2-0 road trip this weekend, defeating Marion of Wisconsin 6-3 behind 2 goals for Nikki Nightingale. At the end of 2, Concordia and Northland evened up at 2 apiece. And just underway, third period, St. Kate's has pulled ahead of Concordia, Wisconsin by a score of 1-0. Stevens Point and St. Mary's, they dropped the puck the same time as us, but yet to report a score there. And on the men's side, earlier today was Concordia moving to 9-2-2 overall, 5-0-1 in the conference, a 5-1 win at Hamlin. Concordia now pulling even with Augsburg atop the MIAC with 16 points. St. Mary's gets its second win of the season, 4-2 on home ice against Wisconsin Superior. And the only other game will get underway about an hour and a half from now. St. John's and St. Scholastica up in Duluth. That'll basically wrap up play for most of the teams in the conference. Augsburg will face that St. Scholastica team next Saturday to end its first half of the season. And the time of that game up in Duluth is at 7 o'clock. Our next broadcast is going to be when we reach 2019. It'll be Hamlin, the first opponent in MIAC play for the new year. Friday, the men will be away at 7 o'clock, and we'll have our first broadcast of 2019 hockey-wise for the men at 7 o'clock on Saturday. Well, a lot to be decided here. 20 more minutes at least. We saw overtime last night. We saw overtime last Saturday. Could it be 3 in a row? We'll find out soon. We'll take a short break and come back to Ed Saugestad. St. Norbert leading Augsburg 3-2 after 2. Back at Ed Saugestad Rink, campus of Augsburg University, ready to start period number 3. St. Norbert a 3-2 lead over Augsburg alongside engineer Tom Ritchie. Josh Powers with you. Just one goal in that second period on the power play, 4th of the year for Peter Bates at 6 minutes even, assisted by Davidson and Sacco. Shots through 2, 27-24, and we in favor of St. Norbert. And we did get an explanation on what happened there with 30 seconds left in the period. Both Eric Brink and Clay Van Diest got matching roughing minors. The reason Henderson is in the box for Augsburg is that Eric Brink got a second minor in that play, an interference call. So that meant Ben Henderson serving that as a minute 31 left. So St. Norbert on its 5th power play, 2 for 5 so far, with the 5th one still in progress. Augsburg 0 for 2 on the power play tonight. Final 20 minutes, possibly. We'll see. The Augies have been in back-to-back overtime games. St. Norbert has not been defeated in regulation, all 3 of its losses coming in overtime. Here's Pueng, the captain, saved by Schmidt. Pueng at the circle, throws it back up top. Davison sends it across. Franti stops down low. A minute left in the penalty to Eric Brink. Pueng tied up, lost his stick. Puck swatted the other way. Bates sends it to the top. Davison across. Sacco watched by Goodmanson. Bates races over to keep it alive. Got past Nizelski. And it was tipped. Nice play by Gunnar Goodmanson to center. And through center. That'll allow the Augies to change with 35 seconds in power play time. Back for Chandler Madry, looking for some open ice and finds plenty of it. He'll send it all the way down. Davison being chased from behind by Deach. He'll circle it up. Final 15 seconds in power play number 5 for St. Norbert. 2 of 5 tonight. The Augies 0 for 2 on the power play, but they do have a shorty back in the first period. Jake Larson. The Augies also have an even strength goal by Luke Deach. But they trail by 1 as they're back to full strength. Madry with a drive from deep. Bontonen gets a piece of it for save number 23 for the sophomore from Calgary, Alberta.
At full strength.
Brink is still in the box. The St. Norbert player Van Diest is out of the box at the next whistle. Brink will have to wait 2 more minutes. It does not cost the Augies a player, though. We are back to 5-on-5. Nizelski, his shot, misses wide. Backhanded around and picked up by Yukin. The speedy Christensen bumped off the puck. Matt Hines, the freshman, back for it. This youthful Augie D-core being tested this weekend by the number 3 team in the country. Phillips ran into Hines. He played it up along the wall as Larson sends it to center. Played right back in. St. Norbert changing. The Augies completing a change. Nizelski. Rodriguez, nice catch. Look at the handles from A-Rod. To the backhand. Poke to the corner. He recovers, then got blasted up along the wall by Milligan. Stolen by A-Rod. In front for Carey. Partially fanned on it. Then tried to get a backhand attempt, but before he could do that, Ryan Bontonen jumped on it. So Alex Rodriguez trying to make his presence felt after 2 goals last night. He now has 12 on the season, which is tied for the lead nationally. But he's been held out of the scoring summary so far tonight, hoping to change that in the third. Rodriguez, Carey, and Madry on this top line. 17:27 left third period. Michaelson leaves it, but Madry has it. Rodriguez in front for Carey, backhand, and didn't get all of it. Gobbled up by Bontonen for the save. 17:18 left in the third. Owned and operated by an Augie alumnus, 360 Wow Inc. is the parent company to several up-and-coming brands in the Twin Cities, including 1-800-GOT-JUNK, You Move Me, and Shack Shine. If you're looking for a great job on a great team with great pay near campus, learn more or apply online by visiting 360wowinc.com. A diving play by Carey, trying to keep it alive, but he cannot. Nice touch pass up ahead. Rodriguez with Carey, good at the line. He'll circle back, though, Rodriguez. Finds Manry in the slot, and it was deflected wide. Sent back down low by Carey, intercepted though by Michaelson. And Michaelson carries through center. Flips it far side to Pueng, the captain. Recollects, finds Bates, and his drive blocked by the stick of Rodriguez and deflected wide. Bates with a steal. Looking for some options as they're changing behind the play. He'll fling it behind the net. 3.5 minutes gone by third period. The Augies still trailing by a goal. The difference, that power play goal second period by Bates. High off the wall by Critch. Davidson holds at the line. Parker gets it by him to center. Andrews at the red line throws it in. And that deflects up into the net and out of play with 16:11 left in the third. You can take a trip down memory lane at Memory Lanes and Flashback Cafe on 26th Avenue in South Minneapolis. With their 30 bowling lanes, live entertainment, great food, and 2 game rooms, it always makes for a great time. Visit Memory Lanes, MPLS.com for more information. Only shot on goal so far this period going to the Augies. 27-25 shots on goal here, early third period. And the Augies come from behind here and get a sweep, a rare sweep against St. Norbert. Davison plays it back behind his net to Andrews through center. Mather latching on, he'll play it up ahead, looking for Milligan. Milligan threw it out front, nobody home, the Augies have it. Martinson to Parker. Right side, Charlie Parker sends it in. The Augies changing behind the play, so Nizelski picks it up at neutral. Flings it up ahead to Luke Deach, who scored earlier in the game in the first period to break the seal on the scoring tonight. The Augies led 1-0 at that time. St. Norbert tied it later on in the period with a goal even strength by Riley Christensen. The Augies recaptured the lead late in the first period. Jake Larson shorthanded, but then even later in the first period, Roman Yukin scored. In the final minute of the period, it was 2-2 after 1. And Peter Bates, the game's only goal in the second period, on the power play, and that's where we stand at 3-2 here, early third. Thomas with a drive. Nobody screening out front, so an easy glove save for Nick Schmidt. Now up to 25 saves for the senior from Fargo. He made 38 of them last night in the 6-5 win. Faceoffs have been pretty dominant for St. Norbert tonight through 2, 30-17. So that's something to keep our eye on here as we work our way down the stretch. Is that going to be called? They say no. The Augies fortunate there. Nizelski unable to settle. Christensen back the other way. Working on Hines, who separates Christensen from the puck. And now Jake Larson. Rough ice already in front of the Augie bench over there. The puck couldn't be settled initially. Hines will chase after it. Nizelski gathers the troops, and here come the Augies. Brink, cross ice. Dahlemer with a shot right on break, the rebound! Saved by Bontonen as he just got across in time. Phillips got around the Augie D, Matt Nels. And now Pueng back for Phillips. Short angle shot. Shoulder saved by Schmidt. Nizelski pokes it over to Eric Brink, who had to be warned by the officials following that double minor he took at the end of the second period. He was a bit frustrated, not only being tied up in front, but then being whistled for 2 minors there. But the Augies survived the power play. Critch, Rodriguez sends it in at the end of a shift. 13:35 remaining. Nick sick. All the way down. Bates is going to get there first. Bates tried to withstand a check of John O'Connor. Brother Patrick comes to play it up ahead to Deach. Deach sauces it to center. Tommy Carey. Carey waiting. Across for Martinson, who couldn't gather it. Carey with room in this side on the corner. Threw it in front. Pad save Bontonen. Played it right back out to Carey. Now Deach behind the net. To John O'Connor. Waiting and firing, and Deach plays it out front for Martinson, who couldn't get a shot off. Good zone time for the Augies right now. That'll end, though, as Anders carries to center. Nick sick to Bates. They're at the end of their shift. They head to the bench. Deach pries it away from the corner, up the left wing, now circles to center. And the senior from St. Paul sends it into the Green Knight zone with 12:35 remaining in the third. Look at that vicious hit. Austin Dahlemer with a cross check up high on Mather. Nick Schmidt sends it around the wall. And now Gunnar Goodmanson could be a 3-on-2. Goodmanson to Larson. Back for Goodmanson as he was in front, but didn't get a good look at it. Bontonen covers with 12:14 remaining in the third period. The Corner Bar is a proud sponsor of Augsburg Athletics. They're located in the historic Seven Corners district of Minneapolis. The Corner Bar is that perfect place for great food, outstanding pizza, and their almost world-famous Joey Wings. And there's tons of screens, so you'll never miss a second of the sports action. Visit thecorner.bar for more information on the Corner Bar. Face-off stays in the zone, but then deflected to center. Austin Dahlemer, the freshman from Rosemount, sends it left side. Larson, Goodmanson, Dahlemer! Sent it wide! On a grade A chance there for the freshman. Back the other way, the Green Knights, and they're offside at the line. What a chance for Austin Dahlemer. Leading the freshman class in scoring so far with 6 points. Had a great chance there to even this one up. Shots in favor of Augsburg now, total in this game, 29-28. The sophomore from Calgary, Alberta, Ryan Bontonen. 27 saves for the Green Knights. Nick Schmidt, they're making probably his easiest save of his 26 so far this evening. 11:46 remaining regulation. St. Norbert 8-3-1. All 3 losses in overtime. The Augies 9-1-1, including a 6-5 win last night. Right here, trying for a rare sweep of the number 3 team in the country. Green Knights win the draw, but it's played through center. Back for it, Van Diest. Up ahead, Bates, too far for him. Madry tried to slide it ahead for Brandt, but it was behind him. And now Michaelson. Michaelson tried to throw it back for Nixick. Came all the way to center. Nixick at neutral. Hits the Augie line. Now between the circles, Nixick. Still on the puck and fired, but it was blocked. Right to Eric Brink, who plays it toward Rodriguez. Intercepted, though, by Davison, who throws it in and heads to the bench. Brink, who assisted on the one of 2 Augie goals back in the first period, the only assist for the Augies tonight. Here's Black. He's had a relatively quiet night for the leading goal scorer for St. Norbert, with 8 of them so far this year. Played through center. Deach racing after it. Andrews will get there first for the Green Knights. Play slowing just a bit here in the third period. Teams playing it more close to the vest in this 1-goal game. Deach to Nels. Patrick O'Connor through a screen. And hanging on is Bontonen, with Charlie Parker out front waiting for a rebound, but none was coming in that sequence. Good look there from the freshman Patrick O'Connor, who scored last night and has an assist already tonight. growing up quickly, as is this Augie D-core. Critch is kind of their leader, but he's only a junior. O'Connor also a junior, but remember he missed so much time last year. Just starting to get his legs back underneath him. Parker tips to center. We have hit the midway point here, third period. Still 3-2, Green Knights. Can the Aggies find the equalizer here in the final 10? Nels hits the red line, sends it in. Bontonen will cover. That'll force face-offs. That could lead to good opportunities. Not a bad idea there from Matt Nels. You want to test this sophomore goaltender. Remember, it's just his second appearance of the year, Bontonen. He gives a chance for a face-off in Green Knight territory. 9:49 remaining. And the Augies unable to win that one. Remember, the Green Knights out face-offing, if that's a word, Augsburg 30-17 through the first two periods. So it's been a pretty drastic advantage. The Augies get a steal here on the forecheck. Dahlemer to Larson. Tried to squeeze around a check, but couldn't. Michaelson has it for the Green Knights. And it's finally forced to center. Picked up by Nixick. Nixick trying to get around John O'Connor. Tried to throw it out front, went behind the net. Picked up by Michaelson. Back to Nixick. Nixick out top of the circles, then bumped off the puck, and John O'Connor sends it to center. Nixick plays it right back in as he slams it around the boards behind Nick Schmidt. Eric Brink through neutral, deflected back by St. Norbert. And now gathered by Milligan. Milligan, left wing, will dart behind the net. Out front for Andrews. He tried to hold it there. That was a dangerous play, aggressive, as the Aggies get it behind him, but not cleanly enough to generate a rush. Here comes Cholak, Cholak bumped off the puck. Recovers on the half wall for the Green Knights. 8.5 minutes remaining in the third period. Pop free to Brink. He will backhand it to Madry. Bumped off the puck, but right to Brink. And now Rodriguez. Tried to throw one toward the net, blocked. Rodriguez almost got it back, then tipped away at the last second. Do we have a penalty? We do. It's a hooking call on St. Norbert, so the Aggies will get a power play with 8:11 remaining and a chance to even this one up at 3. Twin Cities Orthopedics, proud to be the official sports medicine provider for Augsburg Athletics. They're an all-inclusive orthopedic sports medicine and wellness provider, offering their world-class services and state-of-the-art facilities. Visit them online at tcomn.com. Third power play running for the Augies. Here's Critch with Patrick O'Connor. Jake Larson with Martinson and Deitch.
The following minor penalty has been assessed to St. Norbert, number 15.
Deitch scores! On a rebound, goal out front. It's a power play marker for the Aggies. It's 3-3. The second of the night from the senior from St. Paul. Patrick O'Connor had the initial shot. Bontonen gave up the rebound, and Deitch was right there in front to collect and score. Brand new game with 7:54 left. Headed for another tight one down the stretch at Ed Saugestad for the third game in a row, dating back to last weekend. St. Norbert trying to change that though. Leading scorer Black, winds, fires, saved by Schmidt. Rodriguez the other way. Could be a 3-on-2. Brink will snap one off. Blocker save Bontonen. Luke Deitch with another key goal for the Augies. Tipped away from Phillips by Critch. He'll throw it this side.
Scoring for Augsburg at 12 minutes and 6 seconds. his second goal of the game and his fourth of the season. Number 11, Luke Deach, with assists from number 21, Patrick O'Connor, and number 16, Jake Larson. That's Deach from O'Connor and Larson at 12:06.
So how about the weekend for Deach and O'Connor? Third point for Patrick, and Deach with a multi-goal game. Under 7 minutes to play here in regulation. Charlie Parker flying up the left wing. He'll bounce it into Green Knight territory. Deach can't quite hold that one in the corner, and John O'Connor back at center. O'Connor to Parker. He slides it into the zone. Jumping up on this third line is Charlie Parker. Trying to create havoc. You don't want to get a penalty, though, as he nearly spun down Davison. Nick Sick fires, and a relatively easy save for Nick Schmidt with 6:14 remaining in the third period. 33-31 shots on goal now in favor of Augsburg. So that's 9 shots already in this period for the Aggies, just 4 for St. Norbert. Last 2 games here have gone into overtime. They let that one go in terms of a penalty. Here's Austin Dahlemer, right wing. He'll slide it into the zone. Played by goaltender Bontonen, and quickly to center. Here's Nick Sick. 1-on-2. He'll stop in the circle, fire through a screen and miss wide, and it'll trickle to center. Thomas will backtrack. 5:45 left third period. We were here a night ago as St. Norbert scored with about 10 minutes left to tie it at 5. It was scoreless from there. Brink picks up a loose puck. Tried to feed it for Rodriguez. That was broken up. And Patrick O'Connor sends it back into the zone. Quickly ahead. Here's Cholak. Outside the circle, that shot block pick up by Madry. Here's Rodriguez with Brink. Rodriguez on the backhand, bumped off the puck by Michaelson. Brink couldn't quite gain control. And Van Diest sends it up to center. Matt Nels with 5 minutes to go sends a frisbee-like drive right on to Bontonen, who covers for his 31st save for the sophomore from Canada. 28 on the other side for Nick Schmidt. 4:59 remaining. Will there be a go-ahead goal in regulation tonight? Face-off won by the Augies. Nels. John O'Connor sends it wide of the net, looking for a bounce out front. Well played by St. Norbert, and here they come. Broken up, though. John O'Connor looking up. Finds Charlie Parker. A rush for the Augies. Parker moving in. He fires, and Bontonen with the save. And he hangs on with Tommy Carey right in front as more players go tumbling over the top of each other. I like that shot, though, from Charlie Parker. There was a good chance for a rebound, and he knew Carey was right there. He didn't try to pick a top corner or anything. That was designed to either go 5-hole or hopefully get a rebound right there. 3-3, 4:38 left. The Augies scoring on the power play to even it up. Luke Deach, 2 goals tonight. He'll take the draw and win it as it's sent behind the net toward Parker. Picked up there by Roman Yuchin, who has scored earlier tonight for St. Norbert. Davison up for Roman Yuchin. And that hit the leg of the captain, Pueng. Christensen plays it back to Andrews with 4:15 remaining. Andrews up ahead for Pueng, behind him, and gathered by Critch, who flips it most of the way down, looking for Austin Dahlemer. Goodmanson battling with Pueng at neutral. Here's Christensen, sneaks around a hit. Still on the puck, Christensen with a backhand save by Schmidt, and the rebound played behind the net. Dangerous moment there for the Augies with 4 to go. Larson deciding what to do, sends it to Goodmanson along the wall. Up ahead, touches it into the zone. He'll chase after it in the corner, trying to beat Thomas to the puck, but Thomas emerges. Here come the Green Knights 3-on-3. Thomas hits the line, and a nice play by Nels. Some open ice for the Augies, but that pass was too far for Dahlemer. 3:20 left in the third period. Bates tips it into the zone. Matt Nels back for it. He'll send it around to John O'Connor. O'Connor to Brink. Brink finds Rodriguez through neutral. A-Rod with a shot, saved by Bontonen. The nation's co-leading scorer was looking for a go-ahead goal there. Would have been lucky number 13 on his terrific senior season. 3:07 remaining. However, this one ends a great weekend for Augie hockey here. The women with 2 wins, the men breaking that 8-game losing streak to St. Norbert last night. And certainly, as I mentioned, however this one ends, a very competitive weekend series with a top 5 program as you look ahead to the larger scope of what Augsburg wants to do this year. This weekend has to give them confidence no matter how this game plays out here. Rodriguez, John O'Connor, has enough space. No, he didn't have enough space. It was intercepted. Here comes Sacco. Sacco finding the co-captain Phillips. It was deflected into the corner. Brandt wildly throws one all the way down. This is not going to be far enough for icing, though, with some choppier ice at the end of this period. 2:30 left in regulation. Played in by Davison. Patrick O'Connor got there first and got it to Nels. He sends it back to center. Through the wickets of Davison. He'll have to retreat. Tommy Carey watching him. Davison will have to throw it into the netting. Good pressure there from Carey. It stops the clock with 2:14 remaining in the third period. Augie hockey brought to you by Wells Fargo. Proud supporter of Augsburg University, Wells Fargo has a renewed focus on their customers and communities this year. Wells Fargo, established in 1852, reestablished 2018. 37-33 shots on goal in favor of the Augies. 2:14 remaining, all tied at 3. Every face-off critical here down the stretch as Andrews sends it around for St. Norbert. They get it to neutral. Tipped away from Milligan as it finds Mather. Mather behind the net. Final 2 minutes. Matt Nels over there trying to work it free. Instead, Mather tried to throw it out front and did again, but it was blocked the second time around. Here come the Augies. Snapping one off, Tommy Carey missing high and wide. Playing that weird bounce was Davison. And he backhands it all the way down with 90 seconds left in regulation. Both teams have the timeout available. Dahlemer sends it rink wide. Little high for Larson, but he collects. And then Dahlemer offside at the line with 1:20 to go. The officials will check to see if either team wants to use the timeout. Typically you won't see that unless there's a face-off in enemy territory. This one at neutral. 1:20 to play. Face-off back to St. Norbert as they win yet another draw. John O'Connor. Don't want to make a mistake at this stage, so he plays it along the perimeter to Dahlemer. Critch to center. Larson backhands it into St. Norbert territory. Final minute here.
1 minute remaining
of
in
regulation.
The period. 1 minute.
The Augies completing a change. Here comes the captain, Pueng. Pueng around the edge. Threw it out front, but they had overskated the play, and the Augies have some open ice. Gunnar Goodmanson, what can he do? A blast. That was blocked. Sent to the corner with 40 to play. Goodmanson along with Brandt trying to work it free from the corner. Rodriguez is over there waiting for it, but instead St. Norbert has it. And it's flipped all the way down. This should go for icing, but out to play it Schmidt, so wave it off. Final 25 seconds. St. Norbert looking for a final chance. Here's a good look from Bates, and that one sent just wide. Final 15 in regulation. Rodriguez, 2-on-3. A-Rod to the backhand, and his shot saved by Bontonen. He'll hang on with 6.6 before we head to overtime. Could be a chance for Chris Brown to use a timeout. Too much time with 6.6 to pull Schmidt. You'd probably be looking at least under 3 seconds before you'd want to commit to that strategy. But if they can win this draw, you could get a final shot in regulation if you're Augsburg. Chandler Madry will take it. Sitting there, Madry throws it out front, actually over the top. Patrick O'Connor with a second to go. That caroms high and wide, and we will, for the third straight time here at home, head to overtime. So the Augies indeed get that equalizer in the third period. And bonus hockey once again, just like last night. Hopefully we'll have a repeat of last night. It'll mean an Augie win. And remember here, unlike last Saturday, if you were here, conference overtime's treated much differently than non-conference. So we will have just a quick 2-minute break, 1 5-minute overtime. If it ends in a tie, it'll go in the books as a tie. There's no extra point awarded. There will be no shootout, no 3-on-3. And the teams will switch ends before doing that. The Augies out shooting St. Norbert in that period 14-6, getting that goal from Luke Deach on the rebound. Patrick O'Connor picking up the assist on that shot. Our only goal of the third period. Deach with 2 tonight. Jake Larson, don't forget his shorthanded goal. That was big for the Augies back in the first period. And unlike last night where St. Norbert outshot Augsburg, it's been the reverse tonight. 38-33 for the Augies. You'd love a win if you're Augsburg. You'd sweep the Green Knights. A tie would be a terrific result. You'd have a win and a tie in this weekend series. That would give notice to the rest of the top 10 in Division III that Augsburg might be their year to get over the hump. A lot of hockey to be played, and by the hump, I mean getting to maybe where you get to that at least quarterfinal, if not semifinal game in the tournament. A lot more goals than just that for the Augies. They've got their sights set on MIAC trophies as well. 3 consecutive tournament champions for the Augies. They'd love to win an outright regular season title too. Now on this national stage, though, with St. Norbert this weekend, they have gone toe-to-toe with the number 3 team in the country as we're underway in overtime. 5-minute sudden death. Critch through neutral to Brandt, touches it back. Chandler Madry. Madry threw it out front. Rodriguez will track it down in the corner. Overskated it, played by St. Norbert. Through neutral, Black. Battled with Critch, and it pops up and out of play with 25 seconds left in overtime. St. Scholastica, the opponent, just 1 game next Saturday up in Duluth, and that'll be it for the first half of the season for the Augies. Sitting at 9-1-1. Terrific first half of the year for Chris Brown and company. Trying to pay it off here with an overtime game winner for the second straight night. Here's the captain for St. Norbert. Pueng, wraparound attempt blocked to the line. Cross ice, nice idea by Davison, but Deach was there to tie up his man. Anders trying to keep it in and did. Anders moving in, drops it back. Wrist shot, blocker save from Uchin as Nick Schmidt making his 31st save. And it'll go the other way exactly a minute into this 5-minute overtime session. On an icing call for the Augies. Both teams with the timeout available, and Chris Brown's going to use it right now. I think he wants to get
Augsburg takes its timeout.
That top line back out on the ice. St. Norbert still has the timeout available here in overtime. Minnesota Coaches is the official bus provider for Augsburg Athletics. If you have travel needs for your group or special event, visit them online at minnesotacoaches.com to learn more or to request a quote. Thank you to Minnesota Coaches. and Devani's Pizza and Hot Hoagies is Augsburg Athletics' first choice for a great meal. They're located right across the street from campus and offers their famous Augie-matic discount. 10% off any order. Just tell them you want the Augie-matic discount at Devani's. Augie women winning earlier today. On the women's side, on the men's side, Concordia winning 2-0. They have pulled even with Augsburg. Both teams will have a healthy lead over the rest of the conference at 16 points. You got St. John's at 10. And then you got everyone else, St. Thomas and the rest, 7 or below. And there's some games in hand with those teams at 7 or below, but the top 3, there's no games in hand. So you can see the margin starting to develop. We'll talk more about that in the new year once we get into 2019 and start to head down the stretch of conference play. Here we've got 4 minutes left in overtime. St. Norbert wins the draw. Van Diest sends it wide. And Bates turns and fires. That was deflected up into the rafters here at Ed Saugestad. Alex Rodriguez got the overtime game winner last night. Will there be an overtime game winner tonight? Or will it end in a tie? Face-off won by St. Norbert. Michaelson jumping up, then double team. Did get it to the corner. Nixick to space. Bothered there, though, by Rodriguez. Stays on the puck. Thrown behind the net. Eric Brink will get there first for the Augies. Brink trying to avoid a turnover, just keeping it at the perimeter. Madry deflects off his stick. Beats in front to Nixick! And denied by Nick Schmidt. Best chance of the overtime. It was Timmy Nixick on a nice feed from Bates out front, but Nick Schmidt cutting down the angle, using every bit of that 6-foot frame right there to stay tall and make that save. 3:21 left in overtime. Another draw won by the Green Knights. Critch sends it around Dahlemer. Tried to feed it out front. That was deflected before it got to Hines. Critch turned it over as they hustle back. Good recovery by Hines and others to prevent that chance from Phillips. Nearly a costly turnover there for the Augies with 3:04 left in the extra session. The Augies have used its timeout. St. Norbert still has its available. 38-35 shots on goal in favor of the Augies. Another draw won by the Green Knights. The Augies need to clear here. They did get some fresh players on with that whistle, but the puck's been in this end for a while. At the point, Thomas, his shot blocked by Carey. Carey backhands, looking for Martinson. Played to center by the Green Knights. Carey working on Sacco. And it's sent into the Augie bench with 2:39 left in a frequently whistled overtime, which is allowing teams to change rapidly here. 2 games in less than 24 hours, both of them going the extra session. Pueng wins the draw for St. Norbert. Midway through overtime. Backhanded in front, Christensen sent it wide. Brink, nice touch pass to Madry as they break it to center. This will be icing though. No, it won't. Rodriguez, closest to the puck. Madry saw that, that's why he sent it in even though he hadn't hit the red yet. Madry couldn't latch on. And is that going to be a trip? No, they say play on. Madry in the corner, out front Rodriguez. Couldn't find the handle. Again in front, Rodriguez denied. Brink can't quite settle it. And St. Norbert clears. Here's Christensen. Trying to work around Patrick O'Connor. Sends it behind the net. 1:50 left in overtime. Andrews. Here's Uchin backhanded centering pass. No one was home though as Brink sends it to center. And that's offside at the line. Franti would have been good, but Christensen was still in the zone. So we'll go all the way down with 1:39 left. Couple of good chances for the Augies with Rodriguez occupying space in front of Bontonen. The Augies could sure use a face-off win here. Goodmanson unable to provide them with that. Critch at center. Sends it in, but Dahlemer has to touch up. Through neutral. Critch. Under 90 left in overtime. Larson on the half wall. Nick Sick working down there for St. Norbert. Loose puck to Nels. Dahlemer backhands it. Who will win the race? No, they wave it off as Larson shows you his speed. 1:10 left in OT. Here's Franti. Franti with some space. Backhanded. Schmidt gets a piece of that behind the net as it pops out. Sitting right in front of Schmidt. Wouldn't that have been a horrible bounce for the Augies? But Schmidt covers with 59.1 to go. Seen some pretty good chances for both teams. Will the Green Knights use the timeout? Not yet, says Coach Coughlin. They win the faceoff. Thomas shot, just deflected wide. Picked up by Black. He'll throw it back down low. Phillips with 45 to go. Centers for Black, who couldn't find the handle. Thomas toward the net. Blocked by Rodriguez. Kept in at the point. Here's Black working through space. Fires a long distance shot. Blocked by John O'Connor. And now Brink at center with a half minute to play. Eric Brink waiting and firing. And a piece of it, Bontonen. He gives up the rebound. Brink with it behind the net. Shovels it. Madry. Critch from the point. Fires through a screen. But Thomas got enough of it before it could get to Brink and sent it out of play with 15.3 left in overtime. The Augies will have a face-off in the St. Norbert zone and a final chance to win it here in OT. Deech, Rodriguez, Carey, Critch, Nels. Can the Augies find some late magic? Face-off won by the Green Knights. They want a last-second chance. This should go for icing, though, and it will. So 5 more seconds trickle off the clock, and now we're down to 8.5 seconds. Highly unlikely St. Norbert could score from here, so it's really just a bonus right now for the Augies. At worst, you're looking at a tie. Can they get a goal here somehow in the last 8.5 seconds? Deech, again, can't quite win the faceoff. Critch has a chance. He'll chip it down low. They'll freeze it along the wall, and that'll be it for this weekend series between two of the top 10 teams in the nation. And certainly for the Augies, a very positive result. A win last night and a tie tonight. 6-5 last night, 3-3 tonight. And the Augies showing you this weekend at home they can compete with the big boys. 8 straight losses against St. Norbert heading into this weekend series. But the Augies get a win and a tie, so no losses this weekend as they now improve to 9-1-2 overall. St. Norbert 8-3-2. And the Augies play well here and again will sit at the top of the MIAC standings heading into the second half of the year, tied with Concordia. One more game for the Augies next Saturday in a non-conference battle against St. Scholastica. Our next men's hockey broadcast, Saturday, January 5th, 7 o'clock start right here at Ed Saugestad as 2019 will be underway and we'll be back in MIAC play in short order against the Hamlin Pipers in 2019. Augie players gathering at center ice. A win and a tie against number 3 St. Norbert. A great result this weekend for the men. The women with a sweep. Augie hockey in very good standing on both sides as we head into 2019. That'll wrap it up from here. Want to wish you and yours a very happy holiday season. We'll see you back in 2019 for more Augie hockey. For engineer Tom Ritchie, this is Josh Powers saying goodnight from Ed Saugestad.